This episode of Tekzilla is sponsored by the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, the United States Air Force, and
Microsoft Unified Communications.
Coming up on this episode, image your PC. We got free open source tools for you. The Zune giveaway. Veronica's going to reveal the winner. And more of your questions on video. Keep sending them in because we're loving them. Pop yourself some corn, pour yourself an iced tea because Tekzilla starts now. Check it out. It's the supplies for building iPod cables.
Oh,
it's exciting,
look at that,
huh? Look at those tiny pins.
Those are very. You're going to solder those yourself?
Actually, I'm going to start the show. Welcome to Tekzilla. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
And we've got a great show lined up for you today. We're not going to be soldering iPod cables, but we're going to be answering a ton of questions. I got a question for you.
Is it me or has there been a lot of cool movies coming out lately?
Way too many cool movies, especially because it's kind of hard to get into a matinee because the baby sort of turns into a pumpkin.
Yeah, the whole baby thing. Yeah, Iron Man. I haven't even gotten around to seeing Iron Man yet.
Nope, neither have
I. What else?
Speed
Racer?
Roger loves this movie, slathering
Really?
with joy. Actually, no. He may be the only person in North America that loves this movie, but he loves this movie. I suspect I will also love this movie.
I heard it was kind of like vomit-inducing in terms of the graphics and the motion stuff
Maybe
going
you should
on.
play
Like a little
more
too spinny.
first-person shooters and less World of Warcraft.
Yeah, maybe you should shut up.
Oh, and of course,
there.
Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull of the Angry Co-host. Have you seen that one yet? You get like
No,
don't
I
you have
haven't
like
seen
the
that one yet.
swank preview tickets or something?
No. I'm gonna go see it on Friday, I think, though.
Really? Are you gonna see like the
today,
10
which would be
o'clock or
today,
the 11
apparently.
o'clock a.m. showing?
I don't know.
We have friends that are actually going to be at like the 10:05
Really?
showing. I'm a little uptight because I've some friends of mine. You know what? We'll wait for the movie to actually come out and see it,
Let's
and then
not
we'll
talk smack on
about
it yet because who knows? Ebert gave it a good review, so that counts for something, right?
Absolutely.
For something these days. Well, speaking of things that I need to do, yes, today is the day we announce the winners of the Zune giveaway. Woo! Yay!
You're so excited.
Yay!
Look at that enthusiasm.
Why are you not excited?
Because I'm not getting any. You're like giving away. You're obviously a better person than I am. You're like giving away stuff, and you're like, yay! I'm giving away stuff.
Let's talk about what we're giving away.
Here,
to
have a
start
mouse.
off.
It just
No,
doesn't
I don't
do
want
it
that.
for me.
No,
yeah.
this is way better. So we're giving away a Zune.
But you don't get to keep that.
I know, but I'm happy. I'm like Santa Claus. I'm happy that I get to give things to
See,
people.
I was trying to give you
or
something.
non-denominational holiday gift giver.
Obviously, she wants to preserve the experience
There
of
we
joy
go.
for herself. Who won it? Who won the
Well,
we got
hold
the
on.
Zune, the headphones,
I
the
didn't get
10
the
songs?
Shh. We're giving away the Zune, the headphones, and the 10 songs. And we will announce the winners at the end of the show, so you have to watch the whole show, so there. So anyhow, we've enjoyed seeing your video questions so much that we want you to keep sending in your video questions.
Please.
Because I kind of like seeing all the faces of everyone who watches the show.
It's shiny and happy.
Am I creepy like that?
You
It's
are
like,
a little stalkery at times.
voyeuristic.
Well, no, but you were like, I talk to these people in the forums, and I see them on my Twitter account, and the other 32 social networks you're involved in at one level or another simultaneously. So now this gives you another avenue of approach.
We're bonding. That's what's happening there. We're bonding. So upload your videos to YouTube. Make sure, or try really, really, really hard to keep them under 15 seconds in length, and send us an email with the link to it with video question in the subject line.
There's two critical things there. Video question in the subject line and under 15 seconds.
It used to be Zune contest. It's not Zune contest anymore. Now it's video question. So keep it right. All right, Patrick, I think it's time for some regular old questions.
I think we should fire up some questions. Matter of fact, you seem to have elicited a huge response to your time machine problems. Now, what exactly happened? Time machine blew up, it didn't work, it worked strangely?
I think it was working too well. I think it was doing exactly what it was supposed to be doing, but just, too much. It was going over the top, which was my own fault, I'm sure. Just my whole external drive, my 500 gigabyte drive.
A true Apple enthusiast. Something went horribly wrong, but I'm sure it was
them.
my
It
fault.
wasn't me.
It couldn't have been Apple's code or the hardware.
You know. But anyhow, it ate up all my drive space like really quickly. So I figured there was something going wrong.
Right.
But the Tekzilla crew is nothing if not helpful.
There were like 40 different answers that were sent in. At
I
least.
know. Although I think only one of them was really what the culprit was, and I think Sam is the one who had the best answer. And Sam wrote, "What you might not be considering is that Time Machine will also back up your podcasts and video podcasts and whatnot if you don't tell it to exclude certain folders from the system. You can change this in system preferences."
Good information,
So exclusions,
Sam.
yeah, I went into the exclusions. I actually went through Time Machine. I didn't go through System Preferences. And I added my video podcasts. Actually, I added all my podcasts and all my TV shows. Because I don't know if you remember, but I was watching all the Gossip Girl episodes. So my whole first season of Gossip Girl, all the Revision 3 shows in HD were also being backed up. So pretty much I was copying over
So
10 gigabytes of data every day.
You now have
practically.
excluded those from being backed
Yes, yes. But I did something stupid too. And you guys are going to be mad at me. I went into Time Machine, I went into the backup folders and tried to delete a bunch of the old backups.
What happened?
Well, Trash didn't like that very much. I know I shouldn't be messing up with database stuff, but I guess I kind of did anyway. And then it took a really, really long time for everything to delete. It was a couple months worth of backups. It was 300,000 files or something.
You have an extra 70 gigabytes on your hard drive?
Well, it went from 30 gigabytes on the external drive to 140. So I think that was the problem. So now I think we're on a good track.
Yay.
So thank you everyone for the answers. I really appreciate the help. And now it's time for a message from one of today's sponsors, Microsoft Unified Communications.
Welcome to this week's freebie download pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. Today's selection, 1-4A Rename. Whether it's a database, a library of MP3s, or just your collection of family photos from the past 10 years, you probably have a lot of unhelpfully named files on your PC, like CL.113. CL.114, and so on ad infinitum. Okay, you can rename those files by hand, all 530 of them, or you can download and run 1-4A Rename and leave the repetitive Victorian sweatshop-style pain labor for Oliver Twist and his little happy cohorts. This simple, small, but powerful application lets you rename a batch of files in every possible combination and order. Depending on your comfort zone, you can opt for the simplified interface or hit the F2 key and enable the advanced settings for full-on power user mode. Just stuff the files you want to edit into a folder and then sort them by names, file extensions, date created, punctuation, or length of the file name. Next, select how you want to rename your files. The whole name, the file extension, a few letters, just the numbers, the caps or no caps. For example, Summer 1994 or Bad Music from My Youth. The choice is up to you. Plus, you can simply append or add new information to existing files. Want all your vacation photos to start off with vacation? Just tick the append box, type the word or number you want to add, and where you want them to appear in the file name. Finally, if you're unsure what the changes might end up looking like, or maybe even be less readable, there's a built-in preview so you know exactly what the final file names are going to look like. 1-4A Rename might not sound exotic or even interesting, but once you've done renaming all those thousands of holiday photos for your Aunt Ethel, it will definitely feel like a perfect 10 and worth every second of the download and a lot more. All right, Veronica, you ready for a couple more questions? I would say that's a yes.
Yes.
We got ourselves a couple of questions about something very similar. The first one comes from Nanda, who asks, I'm getting a new hard drive and I want to avoid reinstalling Windows XP. Is there a way I can do a complete backup restore from the old drive to the new one?
Yes, and the second email comes from Misty, who writes in, I'm thinking of getting a new hard drive. I would like to clone the hard drive to keep my current XP configuration. I have some ideas of how to do it, but I'm not 100% sure. Could you do a segment on hard drive cloning, including software recommendations?
Aha.
Sounds like a segment idea to me.
Disk cloning, drive imaging, ghosting. For anybody that's new to the concept, it's making a copy of an entire drive bit for bit, hence clone.
Right.
Clone.
Like Attack of the Clones?
That's it, exactly. Copy after copy after copy
Right.
after copy.
Yeah, so it's one drive image file to another, right?
Exactly. Or it might be from one drive, like one drive image to 30,000 PCs if you're in a corporate environment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
too.
usually for most of the people watching now, it's going to be like, I have a system, it's set up the way I want it, and I want to be able to recreate it. Basically, when you louse it up, you just hit a button or two, and you can restore it. Basically, take that image and move it back onto your PC. It's essentially a form of backing up. It's also a nice starting point. So I'm actually cloning a freshly configured XP Vista Dual Boot on my $500 PC right now. Now, Nanda, I prefer to clone fresh installs, usually on test beds, right? That's, you know, in your lab environment, you want to start with a nice clean system every time you're testing new software or hardware. That's where I got into the habit from. But cloning is definitely a way you could back up your existing hard drive and move everything over to your new hard drive. You can definitely image that system, but I gotta say, we love an opportunity to do a fresh operating install. It helps you combat bit rot. It can clean up some of the issues your operating system acquires over time. Basically, bit rot is the idea that, you know, you install stuff, you uninstall stuff,
right,
things
everything gets
weird.
all mucked up after a while.
You know,
it doesn't seem like it should, but it does.
It does.
So yeah, first, of course, you need a big drive to move all this crap to, right? I mean, I'm not insinuating that your stuff is crap.
No, well, I mean,
I didn't mean that.
No, if you have, you know, 300 gigabytes of stuff on a drive.
That's all your crap. That's your stuff.
You're going to need a 320, a 500
Right.
gigabyte, terabyte drive to move all that stuff onto.
Exactly, and there's at least a dozen major commercial apps for cloning. The classic option, Misty, is Ghost, hence ghosting. It's Symantec's Norton.
Ghost,
Symantec,
yeah. It's like they're up to version 14. It was owned by somebody before Symantec. It's $70. It's kind of the gold standard. It's the kind of thing everybody thinks of first.
Yeah, and that's like $70. So that's not too bad. Or if you're in an open source mood, Clonezilla, which is free. And it has Zilla on the end, which we're always fond of. If you want to boot into Clonezilla, and you do, download the live CD version. Both can work over a network. You usually use, what do you
usually, you could run this, Fog's another one, an open source one that's designed for, everybody who's running a network of machines in the office or school or wherever it is, you know who you are. I generally just boot from a boot CD. You can also boot them from USB keys.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, so basically it's like a 76 megabyte download. You burn the ISO, and when you restart, you get a fabulous interface like this. And as you basically, if you follow the instructions step by step, it's pretty painless. Now, Nandi, if you're copying from one drive to another, I'd put the target drive in the box, or you can use an external USB adapter or throw it in an external USB FireWire case, whatever works appropriately for you, but I just plug it inside the system.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. It's actually pretty simple. I could show you clicking through this, but if you really want us to show you clicking by clicking through an open source application and then waiting for an
Because you
extended
love
period of
watching
time.
us wait for things to happen, don't you?
Look.
Popcorn media.
Well, I mean,
Popcorn.
easy there, Tiger.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's pretty basic though. You're going to need a keyboard connected. So, device image basically means that you're creating a large file that represents all of the information on the drive. That's your backup. Device to disk partition is essentially when you're copying one drive to another drive. So if you're doing a backup, you'd hit disk image, you'd hit OK. And we can go through mount local device. It's a little open sourcey. If you want the cleanest and simplest interface, if you want basically the least traumatic interface, especially if you're a Windows user, I would probably head straight to Ghost.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
All right, well, before we move on, Camilla, our Swedish intern, has a message from the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration. Bork.
Hi, so I am Camilla, the Swedish intern. In the country of my birth, the land of the Volvos, Sweden, automobile safety is paramount. We take great pride in wearing our seatbelts whenever we can get into the car. Actually, we are wearing them all the time. So I would like to remind you about the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration. Click It or Ticket campaign. Click It or Ticket will focus on aggressive seatbelt enforcement mobilization between May 19 and June 1st, 2008 across the country. A few facts about seatbelt use. 59% of those killed in auto accidents were not wearing seatbelts at the time of the crash. The greatest risk for dying in a motor vehicle crash is at night. In 2005, over 15,000 car passengers died in traffic crashes between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. So please, America, don't break my heart. Buckle up for me, Camilla, the Swedish intern, because unless you want to risk a ticket, or worse, break my heart, or even worse, risk your life, remember to click it or ticket day and night.
From coast to coast, cops are cracking down on seatbelt violations. Buckle up day and night, or expect a ticket. Click it or ticket.
Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. Oh, it's so cute. Today's pick, Animoto. Tekzilla viewer Adrian sent this one in, and it's pretty amazing. I'm not entirely sure why someone would need this per se, but they're super fun to make. Animoto is a quick and easy way to make super high quality slideshows. Here's what you do. Either upload your favorite photos or choose them from your photo sharing site like Flickr. Then pick from pre-approved music tracks, or take your chances angering the record label gods by using something from your own library. Once you've got all your media in place, you can decide if you want a free 30-second clip or pay a fee for a longer clip. The results are pretty astonishing. It looks like an editor actually sat down and spent a good amount of time making your video for you. But no, it's our cinematic artificial intelligence technology. Yes, that's really what they call it, and it works. Once the video is finished encoding, you can send it to your friends, upload it to YouTube, or just share it with other video creators on the site. It's in beta now, but it seems like there will be even cooler options available in the future, like downloading your clips to your iPod. But hey, at the very least, it gives me the chance to show off my pretty babies. Aren't they so sweet? And I'm not alone. Try doing a search for cat and Animoto on YouTube, and you'll see what I mean. All right, Pat, you ready for some more questions?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Brian writes in and he says, I've got a buddy going on his honeymoon. Congratulations. Things got screwed up. Oh, with the wedding? Oh, no, sorry. Things got screwed up and now he has no laptop to take with him.
This may not be a bad thing.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, God, you can't take your laptop with you. What are you going to do? Is there any way to archive photos from SD cards to a portable hard drive or other larger medium without having a computer? Or is he stuck buying a zillion SD cards he'll never use again? Wow, how many pictures do you think this guy's going to be taking?
Well, I mean, that's actually a really good question. If your buddy does like a couple pictures here and a couple pictures there.
Is he shooting in RAW?
Well, yeah. Well, that's actually a really good question, right? So what is he creating like 2 megabyte files or 12 megabyte files? Right. Is he the kind of guy that takes 72 shots pretty much every 10 minutes? Or is he the kind of guy that takes 3 shots here and 4 shots there?
Yeah, I mean, because you can get SD cards, like 4 gigabyte SD cards.
Are $30 now. Yeah,
the prices are really going down, so it may not kill you to buy a few extra ones. On Newegg, yeah, 2 gigabyte SD cards from SanDisk or Lexar, they start at like $22. Mm-hmm. So
that's cheap.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. So for the price of a cool guy hard drive with an interface to copy your memory cards to the hard drive, Epson's P3000 is kind of the gold standard. It's got a 4-inch LCD, a 40 gigabyte hard drive. You can pull pics from SD cards, CF Type 1 and 2, multimedia cards, XD cards, micro drives, if anybody still owns one. Costs $400. So you could buy, let's see, carry the 13 4 gigabyte flash cards, 52 gigabytes of pics for the cost of one of those cool guy hard drive adapters, and then basically give away the SD cards or sell them on eBay or something.
Or heck, you could just upload them all to a photo sharing site and delete them off the SD card after they're uploaded.
That's where actually that brings us back to the whole file size thing, because if they're 12 megabyte raw files, depending on where their vacation is,
make them smaller and then not have the full res ones later.
Or sit in the Intercafe for 14 hours every other day so you can transfer the files.
But there's less expensive options out there. We heard that Wolverine's digital camera backup products, but they have 40 gigabyte to 250 gigabyte devices priced from around $100 to $330. Yeah. That's getting on the higher end of what you probably want to spend. The more recent and more expensive Wolverine ESP has gotten pretty good reviews. The cheaper ones have a rep of being a little on the flaky side.
And that can be really frustrating because you take these amazing pictures, and if they don't turn out, you're going to want to stuff yourself down the garbage disposal when you get home because you had the picture of the wife on the elephant or whatever the shot was.
Another option, I guess, you could burn to DVD, but if you don't have your laptop with you, that's not going to do you much good.
Well, actually, a lot of people use internet cafes. They either bring a portable hard drive or a DVD.
They have DVD burners at the internet cafes,
and basically, and some of them do.
Depends on where he's going on his honeymoon.
Okay, easier idea is you could bring an external hard drive, a USB drive, and a memory adapter for SD cards, and then basically, if they let you plug the drives into the machine, you can basically copy the information onto the portable drive.
Right, so if your buddy is taking 12 megabyte raw files, uploading probably isn't the best option, like we said, and if you don't have an internet cafe readily available, you're kind of screwed. For smaller JPEG files, just doing Flickr might work, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something like that.
That would actually be one of the simplest options. If he doesn't take a lot of pictures, you know what, guys, have 4 less beers at the bachelor party and buy him a couple SD cards.
Anyhow, we have tons of video questions for the Zune contest, and I think it's high time we get to answering some of them. Here's an iPhone question from John.
My question is, I have this iPhone and I have this old iPod dock, and it does not use the universal dock connector, and I was wondering if there is any dock connectors that will extend this up so that it will fit but won't jiggle around. Thanks.
So John wants to use his iPhone with his old dock connector, Well, technically, you're not supposed to use your iPhone with iPod docks, but likely the worst that will happen is the interference over the speakers if you use it over one of those speaker set connectors and it goes all
Or really be careful if you're using an external amplifier. I about blew my eardrums to a center point inside of my skull because I had the volume turned up a little high.
Oh God, it hurts my head thinking about it.
And you know what? You get that message. I mean, of course, now the message won't come up. The whole, blah, blah, blah. Your iPod will explode and everyone in the neighborhood will die. iPod battery extender's been working fine with my iPhone. Even if it wants to go into airplane phone, just say no and it should work just fine. Now, you can get an extender for the dock. Like, basically, if you have a big case wrapped around your iPhone, you can't actually fit it in there. I mean, that's what they're usually for, cases that make your iPod too thick to fit into the dock.
That's what she said.
You're so rude.
Or hey, you're doing a project on System soon to make your very own iPod cables, right?
Actually, we went to SparkFun and we got a big pile of cable connectors. And yes,
Look at that.
actually, I don't know if you can see the pins at the bottom of that iPhone there. We're going to find out whether or not I can solder these little tiny pins.
That's going to be exciting.
And
jeez.
yeah, actually, that's what's inside of the dock of every iPod, or basically everything that uses a dock connector has a set of pins like that inside of it.
Yeah, so I don't understand why they won't make iPhone docks. Like, why aren't they doing that? There's a reason, and I'm having trouble remembering what the actual reason is. I think it has to do with, I don't know, I can't remember.
Because I want the BlackBerry to feel superior about something.
But why can't we use our iPhones in
Basically,
regular
it's
dock
about
connectors?
shielding. Or you're talking about when you say dock, you mean like dock speakers, not like
Yeah,
the
like a
dock.
speaker set,
Because the
yeah.
dock basically comes in
Well,
the
yeah,
box
okay,
with
but not the charging
iPhone.
dock. You guys know I'm talking about like the
Right.
speaker dock.
I mean, basically, they don't want the FCC doesn't want interference to basically be screwing up the signal. And I'm sure there's an electrical engineer who works for one of the major companies who will correct me on this. But there's they basically can go two ways. The GSM signal can have a horrifying experience, or can potentially blow out your speakers at da 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 da.
True, that can damage.
Because most speakers aren't shielded in a way that's gonna block the signal from your cell phone. And on the flip side, you also want to make sure that the device, like a power cable or something, isn't inducing interference in the signal from your phone. It sounds thin to me. Or maybe I'm a FCC rebel.
Just use them anyway. Put them into
Yeah.
airplane mode if you have to, I guess. It's kind of annoying.
It is. Hey, before we move on, we want to take a moment to thank one of our sponsors. These are the people that make the episode possible. Remember, without them, you can't have your weekly Tekzilla fix. So do us a favor and listen in. We got a message from the branch of our armed forces with the best housing, and some say the best food, the United States Air Force. Want to go get a smoothie?
Ooh,
I like eating.
I love smoothies.
Oh, crap. We got to do the D block. You ready for tackle some more tough tech questions?
Oh, they just keep coming.
Actually, you know what? After about 10 years, you get used to it. There's a lot of
off.
questions out there. Hey, you know what? Our next question comes from Hal. He writes in, I was wondering if you guys could split the dailies and the weeklies for iTunes users. It's great that you split them in the feeds, but what about us?
Needy.
Sometimes it's difficult to find the weeklies in the middle of all the dailies in the iTunes. Hal, buddy, it's okay. They're not listed separately in iTunes, but you can subscribe to them manually within iTunes using the RSS link. In iTunes, you're going to go to Advanced, Subscribe to Podcast, and copy and paste the feed link there. Now, you can find those RSS feed links on revision3.com/Tekzilla, and then click on the Subscription Options tab. I know you want us to list them all inside of iTunes, but it creates issues that I don't want to get into, and I probably will never discuss because somebody will shoot me.
Apple.
No.
No?
Someone inside of Revision 3.
Whoa. Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Behave
What
yourself.
am I getting myself into around
It's
here?
too late now.
Ooh.
The thing with the burning of the blood and you didn't notice that?
What? Anyhow,
You're part
I think
of
it's
the
time for
family
another
now.
viewer video question because I like those. So let's take a look at this question from Lindsay.
Hi, Patrick and Veronica. My name is Lindsay, and I have a question about my receiver. Currently, I have a coaxial cable with SPDIF, And I've been told that I'm not getting the best video quality that I could be getting. So I'm wondering what's the difference and what is SPDIF anyway? Thanks for your help. Love the show. Bye.
So Lindsay is curious about SPDIF and what it's used for and if that's what she's got going on. But that's audio, right? That shouldn't be her video problem.
Yeah, it sounds like, Lindsay, somebody's telling you that, you're using an RCA cable for your audio connection to your receiver, and really for the optical connection, actually, for the optimal connection, you want the optical connection, which would be a Toslink cable.
Ooh, that was very buzz-termy.
I'm also apparently channeling Tom and trying to make a pun, which is why I'll probably drop dead in a moment
That's
or two.
Tom Merritt. He likes puns.
He does, actually. Does a fabulous podcast. Anyhow, Buzz Out Loud if you haven't seen it. So usually, right, SPDIF, the Sony Philips Digital Interconnect format, or as Wikipedia says, SPDIF specifies a data link layer protocol and a choice of physical layer specifications for carrying digital audio signals between devices and stereo components. Or in a simpler manner, it's an interconnect. Basically, it's a way of delivering pure digital audio, much like pure grain alcohol and rainwater or pure bodily. I've been watching Dr. Strangelove.
Apparently.
Yeah, anyhow.
So digital audio.
Right. It's a way to connect two devices. It could be a Toslink optical cable or a plain old RCA cable. I don't think you're going to ever hear any difference because it's basically moving zeros and ones from, say, your DVD player, your whatever your digital audio source is. It could be a PCM audio file, aka CD audio, Dolby Digital soundtrack. And the idea is that instead of sullying it with the hideous DACs that are on board, the cheap DACs, the digital to analog converters that are inside of a CD player or a DVD player or whatever it is, you feed them into another device, like a micro DAC. This is like an audio file digital analog converter, or of course the receiver on your surround sound system. It's just a cable, and the truth is, I personally don't think you're going to see any performance difference, at least in short lengths, between a Toslink connection and an RCA or a composite connection.
Well, Lindsay, I think that pretty much wraps up all either of us ever need to hear about SPDIF. So thank you. That was good.
It's
It's just one of those things, it's complicated and annoyingly named.
Yeah, I mean, it's composite
that
versus
complicated,
HDMI.
but,
HDMI, composite. Oh, let's not even get into video. Sorry.
All right, it's the moment you've all been waiting for.
Woo!
It's time for the Zune giveaway.
Look at you building the tension in
I've
the
got my
audience. Your stuff.
My little fingers here. So, completely drawn at random, the one who gets the 10 songs, the 10 free songs, is Robert Shives. Ooh. Robert Shives, you get 10 free songs off the Zune Marketplace.
Congratulations, Robert.
Which is pretty awesome.
The second place winner?
Second place winner is Jeremy Dickerson. He gets the Fabu headphones.
I like that thought.
I know, they're very nice headphones, huh?
Yeah.
And finally, drum roll please. Drum roll please. The person who claims the 80 gigabyte Black Zune as their own, Kyle Molding. Yay!
You said the whole Vanna eye pop when you did that. Did you grow up watching The Price is Right?
No. Vanna's from
I know she's from the one where you have to spell, but it was just like the whole
the
the
one where
hand
you have
gesture
to
was.
spell.
I don't have a lot of recall. Well, no, you had sort of the hand gestures from Price is Right, and then you had the eye sort of like.
Congrats to all of you, and thank you for everyone who participated. It was totally awesome, totally radical. I feel very giving. I feel like it's
Givey?
like givey. Like it's coming from the inside, like a warm glow radiating from.
So you're gonna
my
volunteer
body.
at the soup kitchen this weekend with me?
I've done Geeks Doing Good at the food bank. Never seen you there. I raised $1,500 for the AIDS walk in. Give me money for the AIDS walk. It's on my website.
What's that website?
VeronicaBelmont.com.
And remember,
blog.
just
I'm John
because this
Dvorak.
giveaway, are you done?
Yes.
Help VeronicaBelmont.com if you want to help everyone. Just help
Yes.
Veronica help them.
Yes.
And remember, just because this giveaway is over doesn't mean we won't have another one. And please continue sending in your video questions.
Oh, we love the video questions. They're fun to see.
You know what else we like?
What?
Email questions.
Email questions are good too. So email us, Tekzilla@revision3.com. We got your tech help, we got your product reviews, we got your how-tos. You ask us, we'll do it. But of course, we need the emails to kind of get to that point.
So don't be shy. Send them into Tekzilla@revision3.com. And as always, you can visit our forums, revision3.com/forum. Plus, Veronica, where are previous episodes, lonely episodes of Tekzilla waiting to be rewatched?
You don't call, you don't write, you don't send flowers anymore. They're all at revision3.com/Tekzilla, just waiting for your love. And you can find more details on the site.
Now, before we go, we're conducting a survey to get some additional information about our viewers. We would love your feedback. Do us a favor, if you have a few minutes to spare, please go to www.revision3.com/tech1. That's the number 1, TEK1, and take the survey. Thanks so much. It'll really help us out. Please.
Please.
Oh, we're out of time.
Yes, apparently. That show went by really fast.
Oh, hopefully you enjoyed it, and you're going to see us next week, where we're actually, well, we'll tell you about that later. I'm Patrick
Secrets.
Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
You've been watching Tekzilla.
Wanna be my lover?
Is this the E block, or-
Yeah.
This is the D block. We're redoing the D block. It'll be fast. It'll be much faster.
We amused ourselves. You may know me from such Tekzilla episodes as camera tossing and salad tossing.
shot, Veronica. Sorry.
But we need the emails. That's kind of the whole point.
Good job, good job, good job, good job, good job.
3, 2. Look at my guns.
You know, when you do that, it automatically goes into the blooper rolls at the end of the video.
Put it on that. Put it